Hi guys, this is a 2019 ZZR1400. I'll pass you over to Pete now and he'll tell you some more about it.
Thanks Nathan. Hello everybody, this is my pride and joy. As Nathan said, the ZZR1400 Performance Sport Edition. Performance Sport meaning that you've got the extra fitments of the Öhlins suspension underneath here, and you've got the Brembo brakes at the front. It's a 1440cc, the brake horsepower is 200, meaning it's ridiculously powerful and lots of fun. And that's pretty much it in terms of the spec. I have to say, it is one incredible piece of machinery. I've been riding nearly 7 years and I've been through Yamaha Virago, I've had a CBR500, a Fireblade, and this is the fourth bike, and I'd say easily the most exciting one that I've owned. In case anybody was thinking about getting involved with ZZRs, it definitely has a buyer beware advisory on it. The right hand can deliver you to light speed. I think the 0 to 60 is about 2.5 seconds. 0 to 100 is not much over 3 to 4 seconds. So you have to act vaguely responsibly on this bike, otherwise you might find yourself closer to the heavens. But for those sticking on earth, it's really enjoyed. The power delivery is really consistent. It's a lovely smooth engine, an inline 4, and it pulls all the way through the rev range. I'm not a massive speedster, but you can still easily find yourself at 70 or 80 miles an hour in second or third gear without having even noticed that you've got going, let alone before you get to gears 4, 5 and 6. So I love the power delivery, the fact you can accelerate like nothing else on the planet. It's probably childish, but I like seeing cars disappear in the background that would normally think themselves the kings of the road. You can quite comfortably leave your Porsches and Ferraris, probably Lamborghinis as well, in the dust with this kind of machine. Not that that's what it's about. So it's got power to burn, but you also feel massively stable on it. Having owned a few sports bikes, when you are in corners and you're dipping into the corners, they are often very much more sensitive. This wants to stabilize and come up, so it is incredibly stable, which I guess is partly because it weighs a lot. Again, this is important. It weighs 270 kilos, and when you're traveling at slow speeds you will feel that weight, and particularly at 1-2 miles an hour. This thing is heavy and you cannot afford to make mistakes, otherwise you'll drop it.
You did make this mistake, didn't you?
An experience I know about. At speed that makes it brilliant, but at slow speeds it is a heavy bike, 270 kilos, so think about that before you get involved with a ZZR. But I like that stability, and of course it means that you can have somebody on the back, and it's supremely comfortable. I mean supremely comfortable. So my girlfriend rides on the back and it's very easy and no problem, whereas having come from a Fireblade previously, she didn't enjoy that experience on the back. So yeah, it comfortably rides 2 on here, and with the suspension you feel hardly anything coming up through the road, which is also a relief for all of you who know what it's like when you see the little potholes in the road, and it's a nightmare when it judders through to your brain. Well, with this you feel relatively little. And the other thing I love about this, it's a sport cruiser kind of crossover, and yet it has all the looks of a sports bike, which I like. It's longer, you see a longer wheelbase than the average sports bike, but it has all those looks, which is a big thing for me. A couple of other things you might be interested in. I didn't mention the famous top speed bit. This bike is limited to 186 miles an hour. Not a speed I'm ever likely to take it up to, but for those aficionados it is 186. It also has ABS as standard with the Performance Sport, and again I haven't yet experienced it because I haven't braked hard enough to induce it, but it has ABS, which is, I guess, some level of comfort. And then, for those of you who are thinking he hasn't mentioned it yet, we have the Akrapovic, or Akrapovic, depending on where you want to pronounce it, the cans here. And that does make a difference to the sound. When you switch it on, it gives it that low boom, which is so satisfying when you turn on a bike. So the cans, we like. On the negative side, tell you what, it's very difficult to pick them out with performance sport. I've mentioned one of them already, and it is important to consider the weight at low speeds at 270 kilos. But also, I have experienced a subtle vibration and shudder in the front when you corner at very low speeds. I haven't experienced it yet on this bike, but on a previous performance, when I test rode it, and I have a girlfriend on the back, going downhill and into a sharp corner, I just felt a little bit of shudder and shake in the front. I haven't experienced it since, so maybe that was a one-off, but maybe worth bearing in mind. I remember the dealership saying it was because of the longer wheelbase that you got that slight effect. But other than that, all good. Fuel, something that people often talk about. I will rarely put more than 16, 17 quid in this one, and £17 is going to get you anywhere between 140 and 160 miles, depending on how you ride it and depending on how much you use the throttle. At the low end, you're probably going to get comfortably to the 150 mark. If you razz it, it's going to be probably more towards the 120, 130 mark. But either way, for a bike with this size of engine, that's quite impressive. It's one of the most fun bikes you could possibly hope to ride, and when you get your chest down on the tank is nice and supportive. You get your head in behind the screen. This helps deflect the wind hugely, so that's another little consideration, particularly if you're on the A roads or the M roads. This helps protect you from the wind, and that's something I enjoy. And the balance of the bike when you've got your chest down is phenomenal. They talk about being one with the machine, and it always sounds a bit corny, but you are. When you're chest down on this, traveling at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, you think, and the bike goes into a position. It makes overtaking is a dream, because you don't need to think whether you can get somewhere. You just look and the bike goes with you. So if that didn't sound too cheesy, I love that. I love that ability. And I think that kind of covers it. Yeah. Okay. So, off with the C. First time it's ever been off.
Wow. And there is no storage.
I should add that is a significant benefit, having data tag.
Oh yeah.
With a bike like this.
Definitely.
Absolutely essential.
Well, that might actually be your toolbox. Yeah, just push it down and put it. Yeah, there you go.
Aww, isn't that cute? Okay, now the fun moment.